Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Thank you again for joining the BNS podcast, wherever you are in the world. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful session. We have Dr. Melissa here with us. Am I pronouncing the name well? It is
Yes,
Melissa, right?
Dr. Malaysia Harrell.
Malaysia. Okay,
Yeah, like the
Malaysia.
country.
That's right. So we have Dr. Malaysia here with us, and she has an incredible story, the kind of stories that I find very inspiring. Thank you so much, Malaysia, for actually making out time to be part of what we're doing. Tell us a little bit about who you are, introduce yourself to our audience globally. We have folks from the UK, folks from here in the US, parts of Africa, and we've noticed a lot of trend in Qatar and also Dubai. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you, sir, for this opportunity to be on your platform today. And I'm just so honored. As you said, I'm Dr. Malaysia Harrell, and I am a psychotherapist and also a veteran. And not only have I been a provider for a very long time, I actually had my own journey of healing after a near-death experience. And so I now help women primarily and all other leaders to overcome challenges and really transform into living the life of purpose. I think a lot of times we are, put in positions where we have to work, we have to make money to survive, but a lot of our struggles come because we're not actually in alignment with what we're supposed to be doing. And so I get that amazing opportunity now to do that. And I'm a TEDx speaker. I spoke in the Netherlands, so did my first TEDx this year. And I am the owner and founder of Blissful Life Consulting and the president of the Malaysia Harrell Foundation, where we provide behavioral health and wellness resources for individuals, groups, and corporations, and for the nonprofit specifically for veteran women.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harrell, for that great introduction.
Thank you.
We can tell you're very busy and very active. Keep up the great work. But
Thank
let me
you.
take you back to 2020. 2020, you had just returned back from a deployment, and you had a life-changing experience of what I would call a near-death experience. Can you tell us about that and what really went wrong with your body, or the whole story, so our audience can get a better background?
Yes. The story is, it probably aligns with a lot of people who've, experienced things that are similar. A lot of us, we move through the pain, we do what we have to do, and we don't always take heed to what's going on with our bodies because we have so much that's going on. And when I came home, again, I've experienced pain before, right? I've done marathons, bodybuilding, so I know what pain is. I did karate as a teenager. And so I have a high tolerance for pain. But when I woke up one evening, this level of pain in my left hip was unimaginable, to the point where I couldn't walk. So I got up, I was trying to go to the bathroom. And did I wake up my husband, who is also a retired veteran, airborne Army Ranger? No, I crawled to the bathroom thinking I can do it myself. Again, I'm not used to asking for help. And when I got there, I couldn't get up. And I'm just crying on the middle of the bathroom floor. My husband hears me. He comes in. He's like, Malaysia, what's going on? And I'm like, I can't walk. I'm in extreme pain. So I went to the bathroom. He helped me back. Did I go to the hospital?
No.
I know what I have: ibuprofen, I have Tiger Balm, I have heat packs, I have cold packs. I'm going to do this. And so one day the pain got so significant, like I knew, this kind of pain was not livable. Call the ambulance. The ambulance, in Maryland, they bring you to the closest facility. So it wasn't even a hospital, it was some random place, medical place. And they took an x-ray, Nothing's broken. We're going to give you more, send you home. Went home. Again, oh, nothing's wrong. They told me nothing's wrong. Again, so I'm overdosing on like Advil. And one of my girlfriends was a PA, and she was like, I think you need to go because you're going to shut your kidneys down. So my husband's like, no, we're going to the military hospital this time. So we went to Andrews. They transported me to Walter Reed Medical Center. I'm there for 4 days. All these people, it's a training facility. They take care of the president of the United States. Oh, right. They're surely going to find what's wrong with me. Right. Everybody's coming in. It's a training facility. They're taking notes. They have groups of people coming in, residents. And 4 days after I'm there, the doctor comes in and he says, Captain Harrell, and again, Captain/Colonel, depending on which service you're in.
Right.
We can't find anything. We're sending you home today.
And you were still in pain?
I was in so much pain that they were giving me Dilaudid, and I think that's higher than morphine. I was still in extreme pain. So imagine being on these meds and still in extreme pain. So at that time, again, you think back now and that's when I was transitioning. I did feel at peace. My grandmother had actually came to me in a dream several weeks before this stuff happened to tell me the message that I got, that it was time to come with her. And she has now passed on. And again, I didn't put all this together at the time. And, I believe now she was warning me that there was something that was so significant that I needed to tend to. And so I'm like, well, you wouldn't be able to deal with this pain. You could euthanize me, get the paperwork. And they say, oh, well, you just got home from deployment, so we're going to bring in the psychiatrist to evaluate you. And I've been doing mental health for 30 years, over 30 years now. And I'm like, am I imagining? Like, can I just bring them in, bring the psychiatrist in? Because if I'm imagining this, then we need to figure this out.
Right, so right. There's a problem, right?
So he came in and he's talking to me as like a colleague, because I've been doing this for a long time. I was like, I'm not imagining this. So ultimately, I had to advocate a little more. And they did some more testing where they actually took a sample out of the hip, and I had sepsis. Sepsis. They were running in the room. They had to get me into surgery. They had to check my heart, make sure I was out of here. I was almost gone.
Wow.
And I didn't look it, again, we don't come in rolling around, certain ethnic communities and groups. Right. We don't look like what we've been through.
That's correct.
Right. And so after that, they saved my life. Of course, I'm so blessed for my medical team that did save my life. In the 5-year period after that, I had all these medical, because for those of you who are familiar or not familiar with sepsis, it's basically a bacterial infection that is so deadly that most people either don't survive, they lose limbs, or they're never the same. And so I had all these medical things that happened. I was on oral chemo. I was up to 254 pounds. I had Bell's palsy. I had 9 surgeries. So coming back from that, some days you're like, why am I fighting? Like, I'm going to be honest, like, I had a great life. I have all the decorations, all the honors. I'm good. Like, if you don't want me here, I don't want to be here. That's how you feel sometimes.
Right.
But then when you say, okay, I'm going to surrender and I'm going to ask God what you need me to do, then that changes the game, because it's not about me anymore.
Yes.
Right. So me being here with you, it's not about me. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to say that my life has been saved. God saved me, and he had a plan for me to do specific things. Now, when I'm not obedient to that, I feel it medically. I feel it.
Wow.
If I'm having a headache and I'm coming on and I'm speaking and I'm ministering, it goes away. Isn't that interesting?
Because you're in your element.
I'm in my element.
You're in your purpose.
Yep.
Wow.
So that would be, everybody asks me, what did you learn? Surrender. That's number one. And when you live your life in obedience, you will be rewarded. And I'm not talking about with material, because you when you have a near-death experience, things change. You don't care
Yeah,
about, you weren't thinking about my house or my
on the
car.
house.
You
That's
don't
right. Yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah,
You're at peace.
yeah.
You want to serve in a different, like, I thought, okay, I had a life of service, but now I'm serving for what God truly needs me to do at this time in my life. And it's been such a blessing. And all the people who supported me, my clients, my colleagues, my friends, my family, it's just been such an amazing, again, initially it was horrible,
Yes.
but when
He has turned it for your good.
always.
It's I was talking to someone 2 days ago. No, yeah, today's what? Yeah, 2 days ago, and I said to him that broken people are the best at mending people. Right?
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you've gone through some level of brokenness in your life, in your personal life,
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult for you to talk to someone else about being broken and getting back together. And so that experience you had definitely is a God-given experience to allow you to catapult you into purpose and destiny. Wow.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Just for the record and for the sake of our audience, why do they call sepsis the silent killer?
Be, I don't know exactly, like, as far as the scientific,
Yeah.
but from experience,
Hmm.
like literally you can be, and I've talked to other people who've experienced it or who had people who've passed away from it. You could literally be at an event and be gone the next minute. You know what I mean? Like leave that event. And I've talked to people that say, hey, my aunt, she was here at a cookout and she has sepsis so it's not something that you quite understand. You have this pain that's unexplainable. And for people who are used to, or who've had pain, or you don't think about it like that, because you're like, oh, I'll get through it. I've had pain, but it's deadly. It's very toxic, and it shuts down your organs once it starts to attack your organs. A lot of people have had to have organ transplants after they've had it, and so that's why they had to check my heart first. But I would have been there that day talking about what I was talking about, and I was going to be gone, probably that day or the next day. Like I knew it and I felt it, and I was transitioning and I was making amends with God. I was sending texts to family members. I didn't tell any, I didn't express that because I felt at peace. I knew, hey, if it's my time, it's my time. You don't feel like, oh, but I also needed them to understand what was going on with me at the same time.
So, Dr. Malaysia, let me take you back to something else that is important. Both of us happen to live in the United States of America, which is perfectly good. And to the rest of the world, when you hear the USA, you think this is the top country, everything's supposed to be working. How frustrating was it for you to go from hospital to hospital or to the best place, and everybody's telling you, we can't find anything?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it because of, I've heard sometimes that the way they treat certain people is different from the way they treat others, or is it just our healthcare system that makes it difficult for them to say, go home, we can't find anything?
Mm-hmm.
For a minute, please.
I think this is such a good question. We are one of the superpowers of the world, yet we are the sickest. Statistics are showing that we are one of the sickest countries as far as, our humans are concerned. And we have all these medications and so I think that answer is complex. There's many different things to consider. But number one, I don't believe that we concentrate on as much prevention. If you look at what food is available here, I know when I travel to other countries, my system is working good. I sleep a lot better. I went to Costa Rica and I was like going to the bathroom regularly. They have this food and it was fresh food and fresh fruit and fresh vegetables, And in certain places, even, you were talking about where you live, like it is a food desert in many
Mhm.
places.
That's right.
And so you don't realize, you see fast food everywhere.
Yes.
And so looking from a prevention model, I don't feel like we're there. So I think we can definitely increase our prevention methods, but it's really about education, because it's up to us to educate ourselves to know what's right and what's wrong, and why certain foods that are banned in other countries are still in our food.
That's
When I
correct.
went to the Netherlands to do my TED talk, they don't sell Diet Coke there. They sell Coke Zero. They don't sell Diet Coke. Why is
Mhm.
that? Why is red dye banned in many countries? But you find it in our Skittles, you find it in our cereals, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
just start peeling back the layers and looking at the history of our country. I started watching all these documentaries and looking at Post cereal, and all these different companies that are really big, and they really they're oversaturated in the market, right? Coca-Cola, they own so much of our
Right.
foods. Post cereals, all those, and looking
Mhm.
at what the stuff that goes on our bodies, right? When they stop using
Mhm.
fuel and petroleum, then it started coming in what we wear, right? And
Mhm. Mhm.
so when
Yeah,
you start to educate yourself, you understand that, okay, I have to do things different, and I can't rely on someone else to teach me how that goes. On the other side of it, our healthcare system has been decimated by healthcare providers, especially after COVID. So even if you wanted the best care, how many people are available to provide it?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
The number of primary care physicians in this country, we are looking to expand that, right? The numbers are going down. People are
Yeah.
going into plastic surgery,
Right, right. Yes,
right?
yes,
And,
yes.
and cosmetics and all this kind of stuff,
Yeah,
but we
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have primary care providers.
yeah, yeah.
So, and the research, do we have enough research that is done on people of color?
Mhm.
So when you do research that says this, how does that apply to me if you didn't do it on people that look like me?
That's correct.
So that answer could be very,
Yeah,
there's so many reasons, but I would encourage people to understand that your health is in your hands. It's not in
that's
your doctor's hands. It's not in your clergy's hands. It's
mhm.
not in your family's hands.
You're so right about that. Definitely right about that. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for that. All right, so we're gonna take a break here. Oh, wow. Truly, this is very informative. I hope my audience are listening and picking up the information that Dr. Malaysia is actually sharing with us this afternoon. We're going to take a slip break and then we're going to come back. And then I have two more questions for you and we
Okay.
can call it a wrap. Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right. We're back with the PNS podcast. My guest today is Dr. Malaysia Harrell. Are you still in the military, or will I say ex military now?
Yeah, well, I'm retired.
All right.
I ended up retiring after, all the medical
Right.
conditions. I could no longer serve. So I did 20 years and 8 months.
Wow. 20 years and 8 months. Wow. Okay. All right, Captain. Awesome. And now you've transitioned into something else. You're now the CEO of Blissful Life Consulting. I love the name, first of all, Blissful Life.
Oh, thank
Just
you.
have a blissful life. Just the name alone is very elevating, so and very uplifting. So, tell us about what Blissful Life is all about and what you're doing with that platform.
Yes, so at Blissful Life Consulting, we have an amazing team of providers who provide mental health and wellness resources and tools. We provide services and consulting, so especially for corporations, or, leadership groups and communities, and do a lot of speaking and education as well. And now research with me completing my dissertation. And so we're really here to do what we just talked about, empower people, right? To take your health in your own hands and to allow people to live their best lives. And so that's what we love to do. And we've been very successful with being able to do it. And so we just love serving. And we also get to work with communities as well, and especially underrepresented communities. So that's what I love. I love teaching people and empowering them to know that you do have the ability to live life the way you want to live it and to live a healthy life and aligned life as well.
So thank you for that. So Bliss Life, is it focused more on the mental health or just general well-being, period?
Yeah. So we do a comprehensive, wellness perspective. So we look at all the pillars of health. We do offer mental health services, but I have my PhD in mind body medicine. So we do meditation services, and we also, really do an assessment to determine what people need. And so there are different practices for complementary and alternative medicine that can be added with your Western medicine journey. That would be complementary. So if you're on medication, but you're stressed out and you're living in fight or flight, looking, how can we practice mindfulness? How can we add meditation to that repertoire? Do you feel connected with God? Whatever that is for you, just really peeling back the layers to determine what those are. But I think there are a lot of resources, especially I found out about so many of them, number one, in my educational studies, but also in my own personal journey. So for instance, I'll give you one. I went to the Reality Center. One of my coaches told me about it. It's in Santa Monica, California. And so you hear of a lot of people doing plant medicine, ayahuasca, all these different things. Well, that wasn't an opportunity for me. I was already on so much medication for, my healing journey. I didn't want, to put anything else in there. And so I found out about this place where you can go and they use technology. So they use light, they use sound and vibration to simulate the psychedelic experience. And for me, that was just getting me in a place of homeostasis, right? Being able to relax. Because when you feel like, I'm almost going to die and you're not giving me the services I need and I'm fighting,
right?
I can't heal in that.
Yes.
I'm stressed all the time. I can't heal. But putting me in a position to, be very calm, and whatever that means for you. Some people is sound, some people is white noise, some people it is vibration, whatever that is for you. But that actually helped me, and I feel like that did help me significantly on my healing journey to at least starting a point to even know what it is to feel at peace or to be at a homeostatic state. So I feel like finding out what works for you. And sometimes we don't even know what's available. Now, you see athletes making millions of dollars. They break their leg. They're going to be playing again. And how? They got a team of people. They have all these resources.
Right.
And so we need to do that for us.
So the that state of calm and the state of stability, where your center is at peace. From what I'm hearing you say, that is the place where healing begins to take place.
Definitely. And most of us in this country are not at that at any given time. You're driving in stress and, you got traffic, you watching the news, you see what's around you. People are acting a certain way, right? And so we internalize that. We may not realize it, right? But again, the level of awareness that you're able to have, you start to know when, okay, I'm feeling different now.
Right.
Now I need to do something different. So it's just helping people to understand and increase their level of awareness, practice mindfulness, and then, offering and helping them come up with a plan that's specific for them. Because different people have different things. A lot of people are in grief for many different things. You got grief that you haven't healed from 20 years ago.
That's
When you lost someone, we don't know. So again, it's peeling back the layers to determine what specifically needed for you.
You mentioned the word practicing mindfulness about 3 times in this conversation.
Yeah.
And I pride myself for the most part as a good listener, right? So when people drop a word and drop it again and drop it again, I'm like, okay, what does that mean? So since I had you, and I bet you guys listening, wondering what does it mean to practice mindfulness? Can you just take a minute, look at the camera, and just tell us about what it means to practice mindfulness?
Practicing mindfulness is being in a position where you're not thinking about anything else. You are in the present, aware, you're in the present tense. You're practicing a high level of awareness without judgment. So that's the difference, right? So we're normally thinking about things and we're judging ourselves. You don't realize it, right? I'm looking in the mirror. Oh, I have this bump. I have, whatever it is, we're always judging. We're always thinking about what I have going on, what I have to do after I get off this podcast, right? Some people drive from point A to point B and don't even remember, right? So when you are practicing mindfulness, you are in the present state and you are not judging anything. You're not thinking about anything else. This sounds easy, but it's not.
But it's not. It can't be easy.
It's not. I've practiced, I've done the exercises with groups for years, and people still struggle at it. And so when you start to practice that and you realize you have a high level of awareness, you're able to determine, okay, because, there's different techniques, but even when you do the progressive muscle relaxation with your body, right? You're not realizing that, oh, I tense my muscles and my jaw. I have, I carry all my stress up here, right? Oh, why do I have headaches? Why can't I sleep at night? Why do I have a high level of pain? Now you're able to say, okay, I'm practicing mindfulness. I'm aware. Oh, I do have a funny feeling here. Let me see what I can do for that.
Yeah. So
once you have a level of awareness, it puts you at a advantage for your health.
That's correct.
Because, and so when, in looking at spirituality and mindfulness and awareness, can't you walk in a situation and you're like, oh, I feel something.
That's right.
I need to leave.
Yep.
I've gone to Walmart and parked in the parking lot, and some said, don't go in. And I went home. Now, before I would still go, oh, I got to get this now. Whatever it is, a battery. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need this battery. Not now. If I have a level of awareness that I'm in tune with, my gut, all of that, I'm obedient to it. I'm out of there.
That's very important. Talking about the spirituality as we come to an end of the podcast, and it's very insightful. I have to find a way to bring you back, especially when I'm in the studio. You wrote a book called God Has My Six.
Yes.
What's the title all about? And then what's the book all about? How did you come up with a title, God Has My Six?
Oh, this is really good, because it's funny, because I used to say that phrase all the time, because my six in military terms means, when you're looking at the direction of the clock, and military terms, that means my back, right? So, in military or first responders, when they're looking at direction, they tell it by the direction of the clock. And so I used to always say that term before. But it wasn't until I had the near-death experience, and when I was going through my healing journey, again, I've helped so many clients all over the world, thousands of people, worked at the top levels of government, and again, I didn't experience anything quite like that for my own healing journey. And I realized that when you are in darkness, when you are experiencing a level of pain that is incomprehensible, you feel alone. Even if there's people around you, your family love you, you feel so alone. People can't understand what you're, oh, get it together. Hey, I'm just going to give you this. This makes you feel better. No, because you're going through a level of grief because you're grieving the person who you were before, but you're actually transitioning and transforming to something else, right? There's always pain with transition. There's pain with birth and a rebirth. And so you feel lonely. And I believe that's why we have such a high level of suicide, right? And so I feel like when you are in those dark times, going down that dark tunnel, again, you are not alone. God is always with you. So God has your back, right? So no matter if you don't relate to other people or people can't conceptualize the amount of pain that you're in, they love you. They still may not understand. It's okay. God has your six. And so so it is a story about obviously transformation, healing, and living the life in alignment. So that's a different type of living than just serving. A lot of us are servant leaders, but when you are living the life of true purpose, using the gifts that God has given you, because God only gave you those gifts, no one else.
That's right.
You are going to have a level of freedom and a level of peace that you've never had before. Wow. So it also is a teaching memoir that talks about my journey through the near-death experience and healing, and how I took that from being in darkness to now being a TEDx speaker, PhD, just graduated, right? And just, again, I would not have thought at that time that I would be where I am now, because I'm fighting it. I want to stay active duty. I want to be an admiral, right?
Right.
No, I'm trying to tell God what I want.
Right.
And God's like, no, I got something better for you. And there's all these little eggs or things that happened that showed me, okay, you are in alignment, meeting billionaires and being in their spaces. Right after I decided that, okay, I have to retire, right? And I accepted it. But that's really what it's about. And it has the tools to help guide you through that process of transformation. So whether you've experienced trauma or not, or you just want a transformation, that there's something that is calling you and you don't know where to start. You don't know where to go. That's where everybody's like, I've been doing this job forever and I got to make money. How do I start? This is that blueprint that's going to help you on your journey.
Awesome. And where can everybody find the book?
So the book, if people follow me on Instagram, Malaysia H. Harrell, or on LinkedIn or malaysiaharrell.com, it will be coming out. It'll be on Amazon and all the different platforms where you could buy books.
Okay.
Yeah. So just stay tuned. It is such a masterpiece. I actually started it a while ago during my healing journey. And I feel like sometimes when you start doing things, again, you do things the way you want to do them. When I first started writing the book, I was angry at what happened to me. Oh, I was angry. And I wanted the world to know what happened. I still was talking about my healing journey and what I did, but there was a level of anger there. And God said, no, I need you to redo some things to do it the way I need you to do it, right? Not the way. So again, it's not about what happened to me. It's about how I took what happened to me to now do what I'm supposed to do in the world.
Wow. That's very applauding to you.
Thank you.
I have one more question, but I'm gonna skip the question, right? Gonna skip
Okay.
the question, then I'll come back. There's something we do as we come to an end of every podcast. It's called a drop-off question. And the drop-off question is a question that the last guest, not knowing who this guest is going to be,
Oh, yeah.
puts to you, right? And then you have to give the next guest, you don't know what is it, he, she,
Hmm.
your own question, okay? So,
Okay.
but before I ask you the drop-off question, Dr. Malaysia, I want you to camera, look straight forward, and speak into the life of women. Whatever is in your heart to share with women, take a minute and just do so, please.
Oh, so for women, the world has continuously, from the day that you were born, told you who you were. You needed to be like this. You needed to carry yourself like this. But did you ever ask God what God needed you to do and who God needed you to be? A lot of us are living our lives based on what our families told us, based on what society has told us. And our health is suffering because of it. And we don't realize that. We just, we do what we need to do. And so if you want to leave that life of suffering behind, I would encourage you to be present, to align with God and ask God specifically. You don't need to go through anyone else to get the answer. Specifically, what is it that you would have me do? And once you do that, now I want to give a caveat. Sometimes we ask God for God questions that we're not ready for the answers for. And I realized I did that a while ago, and then I had the near-death experience because that had to happen to get me where he needed me to be. I would have never left the active duty. I would have been like so old, in uniform. And so when you ask the question, be ready for the answer and, practice the art of surrender. And I call it an art because it's not something that just happens and, it's a practice. It is a lifestyle. So once you do that, believe me, you will live the life of your dreams, a life that you never even thought that your human mind could conceptualize, and you'll be free.
Wow. And I like that part. You will be free
Mhm.
because once you're in your purpose, you are definitely going to be free. Wow.
Absolutely.
All right, Dr. Harrell, we're coming to an end, and this is the question. What is the best advice that you have ever been given? What is the best advice that you have
Mm.
ever been given? That is
I've been given so much advice,
what's the
but
best one?
the best one, I was raised by my grandmother, and she told me, and I'll never forget, I was real cute as a teenager. Guys used to buy me all these gifts. And I remember this guy bought me this starter jacket, and they were expensive, like over $100, right? So a teenager buying $100 coat for a girl, and she made me give it back. And I was like, Nana, I want this coat. This coat is so cute. She said, nothing in life is free. And it may sound cliche. You may have heard it before, but think about it. You're asking God for answers, for advice. You will have to sacrifice something in order to live in peace, in order to live the life that is aligned with what your true calling is. So again, I ask you, when you ask these questions, be ready for the answers, because you will have to give something to get something, right? I had to sacrifice my career. I gave up my career in order to be where I am now. To me, it wasn't a sacrifice. I'm so good right now, knowing everything and seeing what our country is doing right now. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. But it feels painful initially. So nothing in life is free.
Wow. And what would your drop-off question be for the next guest?
Hmm. If today was your last day on earth, what would you be doing?
Wow. If
Yeah.
today was your last day on earth,
Hmm.
what exactly would you be doing?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the reason I ask that is because I live my life like that now. So I don't do anything that I would not be doing if this was my last day. If this was my last day, I would love to be talking to you on this podcast,
Wow.
sharing life, speaking life into the lives of others. But I do not do anything that I would not be wanting to do if it was my last day.
Wow. On that note, Dr. Melisha Harrell, founder and CEO of Blissful Life Consulting. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you
Thank
for joining us
you.
for this lovely podcast. For those of us watching, please jump off, go to her platforms, follow her, order the book. It's definitely going to be one of mine on my own shelf in a minute.
Thank you.
Yes. And to all our audience, please click like and not click the notification button anywhere you see us on social media, so we can get more people, we can become more, to do more, and reach more. And on behalf of all our guests and my team in the background, I want to say the first three words: love, peace, and more grace. Thank you, Dr. Harold. Hopefully, we'll catch up with you soon.
Yes, thank you so much.
Stay blessed.